Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got a cool one for you today. It's a full width Parallax hero section. If I roll down, we've got a Parallax image in the background there as it's going up. We've also got a little arrow that will automatically go to the next section. Really nice little feature. Now, because of my screen recording software, that parallax effect may appear stuttered, but it's actually very smooth on the front end of this website here. Really easy to do. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder. And let's go down and add a new section, and then I'll come back and delete this section. If we roll down, I'm going to click the little purple button to add a new section. The reason it's purple and not blue is because I'm using a full width section for this today. So I'm going to go over to full width. And inside, I'm going to put a full width header. Let's just leave that there and we'll delete the section above. Little trash can. And it's gone. Great. Well, let's put an image behind our section here. I'm going to go back up in there, the little cog. I'm going to go to background. We'll go over to image. We've got color, gradient, image, background video, background pattern, or background mask. I'm just going to use an image today. I'll select that same image. There it is behind, but I want to make it parallax. So I'm going to flip the little button that says use parallax effect on. We've got true parallax here. If I roll up, you should be able to see the image is moving at a different rate from the foreground there, which is true parallax. There's also CSS parallax, which is known as fixed background as well. And that means it stays exactly where it is. And that's pretty dramatic. I do like that one and do use it quite often. But for this today, let's keep it on true parallax. Great. Well, we'll save our changes there. Let's actually make this the size that we want it. I want mine to fill about 80% of the screen here on all devices. So I'm going to go into my module, dark tab for the module. I'm going to go to design. I'm going to roll down to sizing. There is actually, if we go to layout, an option to make it full screen, which will do that. That's quite nice. But it's a little deeper than I want mine today. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go down to sizing, and for minimum height, min height, I'm going to put in 80 VH for viewable height. So that's 80% of the screen. That's more like I want here. If I roll down, it should give you an indication of that nice parallax effect. And again, because of the screen recording software, that might look a little glitchy, but it's actually very smooth. Great. Well, that's fantastic. Well, let's take care of our images, content, and call to action buttons here, and might decide to add a logo also. So under the content tab, obviously put in whatever text you want here. I'm going to leave mine just as it is. Put a subtitle in if you want to. At the moment we've just got one button. To add a new button, put in whatever you want to say in the second button there, and as you can see, it's turned up. Content wise, I'm going to leave mine again just like that. I've got no real content, obviously you would have. Just type it in there. It's a regular text field. You can bold, italicize, make bullet lists, and even add it media if you want to. Image wise, I think I might like to add a logo. I'm not going to add a header image, but I'm going to add a logo. Let's pop that one in. I think that's the one I used last time. Well, that's great, but it's way too big, but we'll adjust that in a moment. If we go down to link, here's where you put in your button links. 1 and 2 there, obviously. And if you want the whole module to link somewhere, you can put another link in right there. Always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, open it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to a different site, open it in a new tab. That way your site will stay open. Great. Well, at the moment I've got no background, and I shall leave that just like it is. Let's move over to our design now and get it looking like we want to get it. In the layout, I'm going to put the text and logo in the middle right here. We've seen what the full screen can do. Like I say, it's going to be a little bit deep for me full screen today, but I like the parallax effect on that sort of 80% that we've got going on here. I'm going to add a scroll down icon. Just flip that to on. You can choose different icons if you want to. If I look down here, it's right there. You can choose the size and color. I'm happy for mine to be white at the bottom there. If we look in image, we've got rounded corners. I've got a rounded logo. I've got to make that logo a lot smaller. So I'm actually going to do that with a bit of code in a second. Really easy. Don't let that put you off. I will have a little overlay though. I'm going to go down to overlay below. Let's make it black. But of course I want to see everything. So I'm going to roll up over the dark writing. This is common to all Divi modules. If you roll over the dark writing, some little icons will appear. If there's a little arrow, we can set a desktop state. I'm going to click on the color there and bring that all the way down. Desktop state is when the mouse is not on it. And if we click on the little arrow up here, we can set a completely different color for the hover state. Again, I'm going to click on the color. I'm going to bring the opacity most of the way down so I can see the image, but read that text a lot better right there. So when we're not on it, it's nice and bright like that. When we are on it, it's a little bit darker. In fact, I could make it slightly darker. Something like that, just as long as your text stands out and you can read it. Great. Well, down below we've got our title text and body text. Title text, I want to make that a lot bigger. So I'm going to click on title text there. I'm going to capitalize it. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to make it a lot bigger, title text size. And I'd want to adjust this on tablet and mobile and make it a little bit smaller on those devices. To do that, again, this is common to all Divi modules. If you roll over the dark writing of the thing you want to affect, little icons will appear. If there's a little mobile phone, you can set different values for tablet. I think that'll work okay on tablet. Like I say, I'm going to make that logo a lot smaller. And let's have a look on phone. That's okay. I might make those buttons a similar width to each other with a bit of code too. I think you could probably take the title down to perhaps 20 pixels on that and have it in a couple of lines like that, or even smaller. So whatever works for you. I think I'll do that for that particular one. Great, well let's go back to desktop. Now depending on how busy your image is, you might want to put a bit of text shadow behind the title text there. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference here, but it will highlight it a little bit more over busy backgrounds. And of course we've got that overlay so you'll be able to read it well. Down below you can do similar to body text, decide whatever font you want, and Divi's got a ridiculous amount of fonts. To audition one, just roll over, it'll give you an example. But I'm going to leave mine just as it is. Great. Now I've got no subtitle text. You can decorate button 1 and button 2 differently by going into each of these and turning the custom styles on. I'm going to leave mine on the default purple with blue there. I'm not going to add any spacing borders. We're going to use a bit of flex to make sure this is all in the middle. So let's code this slightly just to make it more exactly what we want. So I'm going to go over to advanced. I'm going to go to custom CSS. Let's roll down to that logo. There's the logo. I'm going to give it a width of perhaps 100 pixels. That's more like it. And if you don't want to code, just obviously make your image, your little logo image, the size that you want it. And as you can see, we're back to our sort of 80% height, which is what we set initially. And we got our little parallax effect going on. Great. Well, let's save this little bit of code right here. Now I want everything to be right in the middle at all times, at all devices. If you actually go into the design, layout and do make full screen, it'll do it automatically for you. But like I say, full screen's a bit too deep for me today. So I'm going to do mine with a bit of flex code, still over in advanced, custom CSS. In the main element here, I'm going to say display flex. I'll put this little bit of code down below, display flex, semicolon. Let's pretty much done it, but just make sure I'm going to say align content center. Align dash content colon center semicolon. Always put a semicolon on the end in case you want to add a bit more code. If you fail to put that, it won't read the next piece of code. Great, well that's going to be in the middle on all devices, and if you add or take away anything else there, it'll still be in the middle. It'll always be equidistant. And we got our little icon at the bottom there. Fantastic. I think I might make those buttons exactly the same width. To do that, let's roll down a little bit more. We've got button 1 and button 2. Let's go in there, and I'm going to make mine about 180 pixels, which will be a bit wider. So I'm going to say width 180px. That works. Great. And we'll copy that and we'll put it in button 2. That way, doesn't matter what text you've got in there, they'll both be the same width. There we go, just like that. Fantastic. Okay, if we've done everything right now, we should be good to go. Let's save our changes here. We'll save the page changes, little purple button at the bottom. Save draft or publish if you're ready. Let's exit the Visual Builder. And there we have it. If I roll on down, you'll see the little parallax effect going on. Like I say, with my screen recorder, it's probably a little glitchy, but it's actually really smooth on the front end with just a regular website. When I roll over, it's going to fade out so we can read the writing a lot more with that little dark overlay. When you hit the little arrow at the bottom, it's going to automatically roll down to the next section there. So there we have it, guys. There's a nice little Parallax hero section with everything centered in the middle there. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you or make a demo video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.